Hey y'all. Hey y'all. Hey y'all. Hey y'all. All right, all right, all right. Okay, okay, okay. I am super, super excited. Happy Wednesday. Happy Hump Day. What's up, y'all? Happy Hump Day. I am Chantelle Branch, your self-love specialist. Guess what, y'all? Guess what? Guess what today is? Today is the day that we get unstuck. Today is the day that we get out of our own way. We get out of our own heads and we let go of what does not serve us. So today is the day. All right. Happy Wednesday. I am Chantelle Branch, your self-love specialist. We are streaming live on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram. And I am super duper excited. I am so excited. I have an amazing guest today. But first, let me tell you what I got going on. So, last week was the Self-Love Parlor, and it is an exclusive boutique, intimate session for executive women to stop and pause. And we were outside, we did art therapy, we did flower planting, and it was absolutely amazing. It was beautiful, and it was just our moment. It was the moment that you got to step away from the kids, from your husband, from your mama, from your daddy, and it was the opportunity for you to stop and pause. And so if you missed it, no need to worry. Later on this year, once the weather cools off, we're planning something really, really special, it'll be our 5th self-love parlor, and we are so excited about it. I cannot wait to share with you just the footage, the testimonials that came from it, because if you are someone who has battled mentally and emotionally, it is important for you to take those moments to stop and pause. But it is really, really important for you to pay attention to the woman in your mirror. What does she need? What is happening with her? Is she emotionally and mentally wrecked? Is she spent? Is she overwhelmed? What is she experiencing that you are not paying attention to? Are you looking in her eyes? What is she feeling? Has she felt overly emotional for several weeks now? Does she experience anxiety frequently that is leading to depression? Are you currently in depression? Do you feel depressed? And the reason I'm asking these questions is because sometimes we don't know that, or we can't recognize that, right? And I feel like As long as we stay busy, as long as we self medicate, everything is going to be okay. Our life is going to be great. And we're going to go to work and we're going to smile and we're going to be this great, amazing woman, this great, um, amazing man. And our life is going to be well. But at the end of the night, or when you're left alone with your own self, your own feelings, your own thoughts, your own beliefs, something begins to happen inside of you that makes you feel unwell. And that can literally ultimately play games with your mind, right? And so when we're feeling all of these things and we can't put our finger on it and we don't understand, I encourage us to take those opportunities to not only stop and pause and see yourself in the mirror and say, hey, I'm not feeling well, but you got to plug into something, plug into the source that has with you what you need, not to feel better. And so in the moment when you just feel so terrible, so bad, you have to tap into the source, plug in. I'm not going to say tap because tap is like that, right? Plug in, right? Get the cord, get connected to the resource, to someone, to community that has what you need so that you can feel better, right? And so I wanted today to just have this conversation on mind games, what it means when you're battling mentally and emotionally and you just can't get well. And so I have a special guest today. Her name is Sarah Taylor, and she is the founder of Yo Soy Ella, and it is a mental health agency that focuses on your mental and your emotional wellness, right? And so, Sarah, welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Wednesday.
Thank you so much, Chantelle. Thank you so much for having me. And I love your intro. I love what you stated about community and connection and plugging in. That is so essential and such much needed words right now. Actually, while we're all experiencing what the world is going through right now, that's such a much needed word. So I appreciate that. I like that.
And so I was just talking like what we battle like on our own, right? On top
Mhm.
of what we're exposed to in our environment, in our soil. So when we did the self-love parlor, we talked about I focused the workshop on what's in our soil, right? Because what we're cultivated in, what we're grown in, whether from 0 to 6 or 6 to 12, 12 to 18, 20 and up, 30 and up, right? Whatever that time span is, whatever's in our soil, it can contaminate us, right? And it can contaminate us in good ways and in bad ways. And so that's why I wanted to bring you here, because we are having the West Side Community Q this Saturday, June 14th. And you are the founder of Yo Soy Ella, and you have the Curbside Compassion van. So before you tell us about the Curbside Compassion van, I want you to share a little bit of about how you got started in this work. What is your driving force, and who do you really want to impact?
Thank you, Chantel. So my name is Sarah Taylor. For those who don't know me, I am the founder and executive director of Yo Soy Ella, which is a nonprofit agency here in Chicago. We are also, serve the outer community to Chicago. And what we do is provide free mental and emotional support services for women of color. We also provide support services and agency and advocacy and education prevention services for women who are experiencing domestic violence. How I got started in this work is I was a survivor myself of domestic violence. I went through 3 years of, striving and, getting through a relationship, but it just wasn't enough. I wasn't healing. I wasn't connecting to myself. I wasn't getting the right necessary tools and resources to get past the trauma that I experienced. So I created something that I needed. And within that space, I felt a sense of obligation to serve my community of those who have similar experiences. And that's how I got really interwoven in this work. And now I'm in the thick of it. I love it. There's no turning back from it. So here I am today with this organization titled Yo Soy Ella. And for those who don't know me, they look at me like, oh, you look like a Black woman. Yes, I am Afro Latina. My cultural background is I am Black and Hispanic. My family are from Panama. So, if you all know the African diaspora, slaves were not only dropped in the North Americas, they were dropped in Central America and South America, for those of you who don't know. So, I am a product of colonization. so, so that's a little bit about me. And Yosoya translate to the word I am her, I am she. once again, we also empower women to see the better versions of themselves outside of the crisis. Hmm.
That's a lot.
Sorry.
No,
Sorry.
no, that's wonderful because you have to have you've had like all of that was a part of your soil. All of that is
Yeah.
just the makeup of the woman that you have become. And so you have a compassion. And I heard you say that you love this work. And so before we even get started, well, we're already started, first of all. Thank you for your introduction. And um I want to ask you um, the question of when we are feeling so emotionally um, spent or just overwhelmed and negatively impacted by our own thoughts, the truth that we believe to believe about ourselves, and we are just downing ourselves, we're putting ourselves down, we're in that negative self-talk. Um, what is the first thing that you would recommend for us to do?
I always recommend somebody to find a trusted person, someone who knows you just as much as you know yourself. It may not be just as the highest level. We're all our best self critic. We're the person that knows ourselves best, but someone that knows you best that can challenge those thoughts. Because sometimes it takes someone outside of our own selves to call out what it is that we're thinking, call out what it is that we are believing in, and we are, um, introducing to our minds and our bodies and our souls, our spirits, right? So I always say find someone you trust, and if you don't have that ideal person you trust, you may need to start journaling or writing down, jotting down what it is that your brain or those negative thoughts, those narratives are increasing for you. You may want to start dialing that in and talking more about that, and unpacking those negative thoughts, finding the roots of it. Sometimes when we go back and find the root of it, you'll be surprised that some of those negative thoughts are not yours. They're passed down from your grandmother, your mother, your auntie, or someone. It came from somewhere and then you adapted them. So sometimes writing them out and then speaking them out, like, where is this coming from? Or dissecting them, you'd be surprised they're not really your thoughts. They're just something that has been implanted or transferred from somewhere. Mhm.
Yep. And that goes back
Mhm.
to you had a soil transplant. No. um, but
Mhm.
it's really I love the fact that you said that because that's what I was sharing in the self-love parlor. It's just a part of my story of my patterns and my behaviors that were
Mhm.
modeled after my mother. And although our relationship was tumultuous, right? And even as before I became a mom, and when I became a mom, I had this thought of I am not going to be like her. I'm going to be different. I am going to raise my children different. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. And for the most part, I would say the first 13 years of raising children, it looked like that, right? I could actually, um, in a sense, it looked like I was living out what I said I set out to do, what I said I was going to do, right? But then as parents, we know that when children become teenagers, they challenge us. And the things that I was challenged with in my 13th year as a parent, I knew that those things were a part of me. And so I would begin to see some patterns and behavior in my daughter. And I would say, oh, I didn't like it. But then a big part of that was for me to see that that's you. You don't like that part of you, but it's displayed in her because it's something that she saw. And I just began to think like, well, what did I do? I thought I did everything right. And I began to blame myself. Um, and that was my first daughter, so now I have my third daughter, become that's
You
that's
busy?
now that's now a teenager, right? And now there are other parts of her that I see and I'm like, oh, there is me again, right?
Mm.
But then also there's my mother, right? Because even though I set out to have this thought of I'm not going to be like her, I'm going to be so different, I'm going to raise my children different, and then I began to get those challenges in the 13th year of parenting. I started to see those things that I saw. Yeah, those were me, but those were also many pieces of her.
Right.
And so that's why I believe that we're always in a journey of self-discovery, but
Mm-hmm.
there's like levels to it. Now I feel
Huh.
like I need to reach this new level to really
Mm-hmm.
go back and into my soil,
Mm-hmm.
and do a deep dive with a licensed professional, when it comes to just pieces of my mother, right?
Yeah.
And I wanted to and just encourage the women in the sessions, because everybody's story is not, oh, I had the greatest mother, she was just this amazing person. But the truth of all of it when it comes to mother and father and parents is that they are our first loves. So no
Yeah.
matter which way in which they have loved us in our lifetime, it's so important for us to, when we are hurting, when we are depressed or feeling bouts of anxiety and negative thoughts, to and it just comes to a head, right? So for me, it came to a head like, I got to do something about this right now,
Mm-hmm.
because now I want to be sure that this third teenager I'm raising, I do it even better, because we get better at parents. You should be.
You should be. I
Right.
mean, you're a different parent each child. You're not the same parent for every child. People forget
True.
about that. Mm-hmm.
True.
Mm-hmm.
But I just wanted to highlight that
Mm-hmm.
what I set out to do as a parent has now shifted and changed,
Mm-hmm.
and now I'm really recognizing some things that were in my soil that I just couldn't see at first. So could you kind
Mm-hmm.
of um
Mm-hmm.
just talk to us just about like the mind games that we begin to play, that we begin to have in ourselves because of those negative thoughts, um
Yeah.
and why it's so important to get connected and plugged into a source to help us through.
Yeah, I mean, to your point when you're saying my games, I mean, I like to switch it up as messengers. Many things and many people are just messengers. Even our children are messengers. They're calling something out in us.
Ooh,
Our
I ain't
friends
like
are
it.
calling something out
Mm.
of us. Experience are calling something out of us. Your boss, everyone has a role they play. But if you're looking at it as, like, oh my God, I feel like things are the world is playing against me or playing my games, you're gonna miss the message. You have to understand, what is this telling me? Always say, like, we go through certain trials and tribulations in life, and we go through these really hard experiences, and we're like, why is this happening to me? Or we go to that pit, woe is me, and we're missing the message because we refuse to see what it is that is causing us, is challenging us to examine. So I challenge people, in those moments, like, what is this trying to tell you? Sometimes you might get tired of the experience because you're not adapting or trying to pull from what is actually trying to do, what is trying to transform you, what is trying to pull out of you. So to that point, I encourage people to seek out those messages. And in order for you to be in those places, you got to be in that mindset to be willing to have that capacity to welcome that experience to get those messages. Sometimes you're so bogged down with all that's happening around us, all the demands that life gives us, that you don't have the moment to pause, as you stated earlier. You don't have the moment to be mindful and go in and look into what is causing the soil to be dry or infected, or what insects, what's going on in this soil that's causing my plant to be weakened, which is, us in that retrospect. But it causes you to have the capacity to stop, pause, and dig more and dissect what is happening to you, instead of more avoidance. And I can go on with that, because the big word above all of this is accountability. But I'll leave that to another
Accountability.
session. That's
Okay.
another session.
Yes,
But
girl.
yeah,
We not ready for that, girl. We take us
we're
back
not
to
ready. We're gonna do the
accountability.
mind games. We're gonna stick with the mind games topic
Yes.
today. But
Yes.
yes.
So as it relates to
Mhm.
women of color
Yeah.
and having to be strong, hold it together for our
Yes.
communities, for our parents, for our families, for our siblings, for our marriage, for our own family, our own new family that we have created. And then we have to hold it together at work. And
Mm.
we just do that, right? It is I, at this point, it is innate. It's something that we have done for centuries, right? And
Yeah.
so now I'm not saying it's coming to a head, but I'm also saying that we, as African American women, as women of color, Black and Brown community, um, we're breaking in
Yeah. We're
front
tired.
of
Yeah.
everybody, in front of our own face. It's like we're breaking in front of our own face. We're looking in a mirror, we're looking at her tears, we see her sad eyes, but we just keep on going.
Mhm.
We don't stop to tend to our own wounds. We just go and
Mhm.
put a band-aid on everybody else and give them a cast and give them their medicine and take care of them and get everything that they need done. Um, how do we stop?
Mhm. I mean, we have to allow ourselves or give ourselves that that right to be human. You know, a lot of
Mhm.
times we skip that and we wear this trope, as you say, a strong black woman, that we have to retire. You know, everyone will have to retire one way or another, whether retirement looks for you or you look for retirement. And these is one of the tropes that we have to let go. You can't be everything and do everything and expect to be good at everything. That's just not how this works. This is just not. And if you think you're going to work through life like that, you're not going to be at the best version of yourselves by the time you turn 50. You know, we know autoimmune disease causes, we
Wait,
know
say
what
it
all that.
again. You don't, girl, don't run past the 80s babies. Say that one more time so the people
By the
can
time you
hear it.
turn 50, you ain't gonna make it. You ain't gonna be the best version of
Wow.
yourselves. You're not. You're gonna be worn,
Wow.
tired, resentful. You know, resentment is you know, it's not a joke. Resentment's gonna
You're
come
gonna
in
have a
and
lot of gray and silver hair because it be coming in
it's
when you stress.
coming. Right. So all of those things were going to come in into your world, least expected or ready or not. So we have to, like you said, we have to take into account that we are human first before anything. And I think as a culture, as women of color, we have learned to carry to carry the backs of the world behind our backs. You know, we carry everything, and we feel like that's our obligation, our moral responsibility. You know, we are martyrs in different aspects of our lives that we have to let go because, as you stated, our community is going to need us, our children going to need us, our family's going to need us, generations going to need us, but they can't need us when we're tired, worn, and broken. You know, because what that produces is more tired, broken, and worn out people. It doesn't produce anything fruitful or healthy from that. So we have to come to that realization that we are human first, and within that realization and recognition that I am a human first, it comes into giving yourself permission to say no. I'm not going to do that. It's not for me. I'm done. I'm done with this. And
Giving yourself permission to say no.
I'm done.
Um,
Hmm.
I know for me as a wife, that's really hard.
It is me too.
And
The guilt.
the guilt as a wife,
Mhm.
as a mom, I'm not,
Mhm.
and maybe we have aspirations to be perfect or excellent, to do everything right. And when we don't, when we like
Mhm.
make mistakes, we make it more catastrophic than it already is.
Yes. Yes, we make it a big deal because we don't know what it is to make. I think I think sometimes it's to make mistakes is a privileged space. I don't think because we have to do so much and we have so many people expecting us to be that person for the family and carry that cross of the family, that if we make a mistake, you know, it's like we're dropping the ball and the family or ourselves or whoever depends on us, it's going to be affected by it. We have think conditioned ourselves to think that we don't have that privilege to fail, you know. And I think sometimes in our cultures failure is a privilege. That was mine and my family and my
Wow.
culture when we came to the United States. Or you can't fail. We came here, we left everything behind us for you to make it better for your family. You don't have the privilege to fail. You don't have a safety net. Either you make it or you don't. And that
Wow.
conditioning causes nothing but stressors and pressures that are unimaginable.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow, wow, wow. Tamika Patterson says we weren't taught to give ourselves permission to show up for self. And so when we think about that
Yes, we
as
weren't.
wives, as mothers, like it is up to us, right? I want to say to all the women who are waiting on their mothers and grandmothers to change generational trauma, generational curses. You are the curse breaker. You are the one that God has given a plan to do it differently, right?
Right.
Um,
Mhm.
and the reason I say that is because reading that comment, we don't give ourselves permission to show up, is because it's something that we learned, right? And because we are the person that has like something inside of us just doesn't agree with the way that I was taught, and now I want to do something different, but
Mhm.
there's not necessarily a blueprint. What would you recommend to us who, like, yeah, we know we should be doing something different when it comes to showing up for ourselves, but I don't know how to do that. I've never done that. My mama don't know how to do that. My sister, she can't help me. Like,
Mhm.
how do we begin to maybe move from denial to reality, to or begin to start that process or that work or that journey.
hmm this may sound really weird, but I always tell people to start with micro moments of joy, because healing needs joy. Healing stressors, past the traumas, it needs those micro moments to spark a little joy, because that spark of little joy, the spark of a little thing that makes you happy, either it's coloring, laughing, frolicking in the woods or the forest, or traveling somewhere that you completely love, or eating one of your favorite foods, hanging out with your favorite friend, whatever that may look like, gives you a time to breathe and pause and look into yourself, like, this is what I like to feel. And it helps you realize, I want to feel this a lot more. What can I do to get to this level and feel this feeling, this micro feeling of joy a little bit more, while I'm healing, while I'm identifying those traumas and those triggers? Why am I holding myself capable of getting through the situation, or giving myself capacity to get through this moment? So start with identifying those micro moment of things that make you feel a little bit more connected to that inner youthful self that you have, or more connected to that sense of joy. And you start building capacity to understand that life doesn't always have to be this harsh and dark. I can do this and yet laugh. I can do this yet experience joy. I can do this and still go outside and color, or do something completely off track, and not be, and not feel shameful or guilty because of those pleasures I give myself. So yeah, start there and then you build from there.
I love that. I love that. So micro moments of joy.
Yeah.
And I think that leads us right into the curbside compassion dinner, because this Saturday, June 14th,
Yeah.
you are going to help us in just small groups, probably about groups of 5, and we're going to have micro moments of joy. So
Mhm.
walk through. Can you kind of walk us through like what we can expect on Saturday when we get on the curbside compassion van?
So we have little, I call it little cutouts for like little my little brains. It's like cutouts in the brains. We want to identify what things make my brain feel a little bit closer to me. You can identify that on a little coloring pattern. We have we call it a mindful minute, where we give you a minute to be mindful about whatever it is that you want to be centered with. Only it takes you a minute to figure that out. It's like a little, it's more in the area of yoga and that space. We also encourage people to write letters for the next person coming into the van. So you write a letter, you think you're writing to yourself, but you're passing on that message for someone else to take with them and impart with them. And of course, meaningless conversation. Sometimes not everything has to be so deep. Sometimes connection to our mind body can be just completely free and just flowing, and just see, hey, what it is that you eat today, what it is, I mean, ate today, what it is that you didn't like today. What would you like on your hot dog besides ketchup? I'm just kidding, Chicago, sorry. Things like that. Something that's completely off of the doom and gloom of everyday life. Then we start from there, and I mean, always, I guarantee you, every time we start from there, it makes people go into their inner self, like, I didn't know I like that. And then you see somebody else, like, oh my God, you like that too, I didn't know you were. And you just see how you connect with other women, and then from there you build community. And building community is so much fun. I don't care what anyone says, building community is fun, because it can lead to other passions and other introductions to other parts of life that you never thought, through another person who's walking that same walk with you. So that's what you can expect Saturday.
I love it.
hmm
NC Dida 995. Did I say it
Oh
right?
yeah, that's our president. That's Maria.
Hey, President. President
Maria.
said,
Yes.
I had jerk chicken today. So
She is good. Now that's good. I like that. We could do jerk chicken. I can go for that today. See?
yes, and I love the micro moments, the micro
Mhm.
moments.
Yes. Let's embrace them.
Absolutely.
hmm
I mean, it could be a micro moment could be something that's I'm putting earrings on today. And you
Okay.
think it is like not a big deal, and you walk into the store and they're like, I like your earrings. You be like, these what I got on. Let me feel it. Let me take
Let
it
me
off and see. Oh, I
go.
did put on earrings today.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And
Uh-huh.
you're like, that small compliment, what did it do in 3 seconds? It made you smile. And then you went into, oh my God, like which earrings do I have on? But that first initial thing was you smile, which
Mm-hmm.
means you release some endorphins in your
That's it.
brain.
That's it.
And that's a positive thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what when I'm in really high stressful situations or days after I've been through something really just high stress, I watch a comedy movie, and
Yes.
like a stupid one, like one of those real stupid ones, and you just laugh, and like 45 minutes, an hour later, you forgot you went through something so crazy. um
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of times when we're going through things, or when I'm going through things, I want to figure out, did I do something wrong? What did I say? Was it my tone? How did I respond? Did I respond in a healthy way? Was did their whatever happened, did it make me come out of character? I think for me,
Mm-hmm.
I'm really conscious of, I want to be in character, but I want to be like so in control that you used to make me mad, but girl, don't you see this healing over here, this peace and calm?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I hear you. I acknowledge
Mm-hmm.
what you're saying. I do not agree. But
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not gonna let it steal my whole day. I'm not gonna let it
Mm-hmm.
take an hour where I'm ruminating and I'm going over and over, playing the conversation back in my head and thinking, I should have said this. I should have said this. I should have texted this, right? And that's where I want to be. I want to be. It's so in control that I don't care how mad you make me. I am so in control of my peace,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm in control of my space. I'm in control of my temper,
Right. Very good.
because I don't want to go or come out of a bag on you. I don't want to go to level 100, because when I'm at that space, I don't like who I am. I don't like who I
Exactly.
become. I
Yep.
don't like the words that I think of and the
Mm-hmm.
thoughts and the pictures that come into my
Mm-hmm.
head.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be, I like when I am in control of my peace, my surroundings, my joy. And I think a lot of times, this is what I'm sensing just from a lot of people I've talked to. People don't want to feel, and so they go into this, I'm gonna protect everything I have, and everything is great and it's beautiful. And so that's not reality. Like, I can't live in
Yes.
that space. I like how I
Mm-hmm.
am when I have in control of my emotions, but I can't live in that space. And do people make me mad in text message or email or whatever through conversation, or
Mm-hmm.
agitate me or irritate me? Yes. And I have the control of how I respond. But what I see with so many people is we don't want to feel. And so we
Mm-hmm.
self-medicate.
Mm-hmm.
um we stay in a bubble, we stay locked in our quarters.
Mm-hmm.
We have a million gazillion boundaries, because that's our new word. And you can't
Mm-hmm.
text me, don't do this to
I
me,
got
right?
boundaries. I cut you off.
Y-
Okay.
okay, can you forgive me? I'm sorry.
No.
I ain't
Yeah.
man no more, please forgive me.
Mm-mm.
um but I find so many people don't want to feel anymore, but I know that's not solving our problem. It's not making us, it's not taking away the anxiety or the depression. It's not dealing with the root of what we're really being tormented or going through.
Mm-mm. And it doesn't help you build capacity for your mental health either. All it does is weaken you. The more it's
Oh,
all
wait,
avoidant
wait,
behavior.
wait a minute. What does it mean to build capacity for our mental health? Hold up. Talk to us. Talk to us.
So, building capacity for your mental health is learning how to withstand those triggers, learning how to navigate those feelings when you feel uncomfortable, learning how to navigate or identify some things are just not always mental health. Some things are just helping you build capacity to withstand an uncomfortable conversation, an uncomfortable label that someone might come at you, or an uncomfortable relationship. Grief, you're going to experience grief in life, breakups, death of a family. You have to build capacity to withstand those really tough emotions. So avoiding them by cutting people off, boundaries, or saying, I don't need this, I don't need this person in my life, or you're not going to do this to me today, not me, it's not building capacity. It's just building more stronger avoidant behavior. All you're getting good at is
Mm.
being avoidant. And we
So
know when people are
when
avoidant,
you avoid, you build strong. What did you say?
build
Stronger
stronger avoidant behavior. You just get
avoidant
really good at
behavior.
avoiding the problem. You're not
Ooh,
doing anything.
ooh. I know ain't nobody gonna say that's me in the comment, but go ahead, drop something.
Ah, hey, that used to be me. I used to
That
think that
used
was
to
an
be me.
anecdote.
That
Right.
used to be me. Oh, I was good at that. Oh,
Yeah. And did I mean, and all it did was make you more, if you think about it, it made you more of, it's awkward to say that, but more, not bitter, but harsher. You didn't have that
Stiff
warm
neck,
softness.
stiff
You weren't
neck, no empathy,
right.
no
Stiff
sympathy.
neck, up shoulders,
Mhm.
clenched jaws.
Yep.
You're just ready to clap because you have so much within you that you can. I'm gonna let her know. I'm gonna let her have, because I have built up. I always tell people that I have anger from 1983. I was born 1983. You don't want none of this. So I'm like, but I want to be like, well, no, I'm a soft life. I don't want to have that built up
Not
from
the
19.
soft life.
Right. I want to be ease. I want people, I want to model behavior. I
Mm.
always say when I go to the beauty supply store, it can be very, very tension. I want this hair weave, or I want this hairspray, this glue, and sometimes the workers there are not giving you what you need, or you cut somebody in line. That's not the place for you to blow up and get upset, but it's a place for you to be like, okay, everyone is getting a little tensions here. All of our hair is all over the place. We all want our hair done. We're all at the beauty supply store. We all need products to fix the situation. We all know how we get moody. We get when our hair is not done. We know that's part of our hair esteem. So when we're not getting our products, what we need at that time, we get a little tensions, or we waiting in line or whatnot. But that's probably the perfect example I can provide right now, is when you can build some capacity to deal, like, look, this is not the time to bark or get tough, or, snap on somebody. This is time to model behavior, model patience, model capacity, and model control. Not everything
Ooh.
requires a reaction. So
Model patience, model reality, and model control.
control, that's it. That's all we got to
Yeah.
do. You'll be
Yeah.
all
I see. I
right.
said I want to control myself. I want to control my anger. No.
It's a
And I
beautiful thing. You like yourself more when you have control of that. You like it. You
and I
like yourself.
and I was just gonna say, I feel like I win when I do that. When I have to have a very tough conversation. And I'm telling you, I go through everything, like my heart beating fast. I'm shaking, but you can't see me shaking, and my mouth is just as dry as cotton. But I'm standing 10 toes down on my belief, right? Because what I'm believing in this moment is to be true. And I have to um have this tough conversation with you, whether you receive it in this moment or not. I've
Mhm.
learned that that's not my concern. My concern is to have this conversation, to be mindful. For me, I'm mindful of my tone. I'm mindful, very mindful of my body language. And I just need to say this piece. And I try to make it as
Mhm.
simple as in third grade level understanding as possible. I don't want to be too deep, but I need to say what I need to say
Right.
with control, without
And
letting
compassion. And compassion.
compassion, without
Compassion.
no matter what your response is. I started this way and I want to end this way, right?
Mhm.
That it may not always happen that way, but that's my intention. That's always my goal. And when I do that, oh, I feel like I'm winning. I feel like it just empowers me that I can go and talk to the toughest person, the
Yes.
hardest person. They like, oh, I'm scared of them. Oh, even the secretary scared. I'd be like, okay, let me research, let me learn this person. I like to study people. I'm an observer, so I learn patterns and behaviors and figure out, they're hard, they're really hard on the outside, but once you really get to know them, I like to break people's barriers down. Like, oh,
It's
you're gonna be this
beautiful.
hard. And the only reason, because I've been in the beauty industry, and a
Mhm.
lot of times you get new clients, but they become friends over the years. But you start out with me, that first encounter, that first time you see them, and you don't know, I don't know, you probably had a bad day and you gotta come and get you got a new stylist.
Mhm.
We just met. You don't like new people. Um, you're shy, but you're really not. You talk a lot, but you joke, but you but you pretend to be shy. Like, it could be so many things. Maybe you had a bad morning and all you could do is get here. You got the kids to the daycare. You got your husband and helped him, and all you just showed up in your workout clothes. You're like, girl, I didn't even work out today, but I'm here, right?
Mhm.
But whatever that is that you came into the salon with, you're gonna sit in my chair, and by the time this service is over, something within you is going to change. Some guard is going to come down, some barrier that you had up to protect yourself. I will have broken through. And if I can't, I probably never see you again. Because and that's the truth. And even sometimes with those people, they keep coming back, and you're like, man, they
Mhm.
so hard, but they keep coming back. They
In the
tip
back.
well. They like the service, but they don't. They don't let
I
you know they
know.
like it. Um, and I'm just saying all that to say, like, not only have I done the work, I'm continuing to do the work. And
Yes.
I think a lot of times that, especially when it comes to us, is first we have the barrier of counseling is we shouldn't be talking to therapists or counseling. Um, we shouldn't. We should just be the strong, beautiful black and brown girl,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah,
that's
no.
that. And you should handle grief, you should handle loss, loss of marriage, you should handle divorce, relationships, loss of a career, loss of a child, loss
Mm.
of a parent. You should handle all of that well. You should just do it, and just get over it, and just keep going. um and we a lot of times we do that, and that's our mindset, and then we do that to each other, and we overlook each other.
I mean, only in Chantel, only in this country, it's called that's a Western belief. Only in this country you handle all those kind of hardships you describe alone. Not
Mm,
any other country. These things that we're talking about, these hardships of life that life's gonna keep lifing, handles those things alone. And that's why
mm,
I love the fact that we are now preaching and promoting so much community and collectivism, because for the beginning of time, this country has been nothing but an individualistic country, an individualistic lie. Let's just say that. You know, we are not designed to go through any of this stuff called life by ourselves. And to continue until we really ingrain that in ourselves and stop being this tough one. I got to get this myself. I made this bed and I got to sleep in it. Whatever that is, that
oh
we
my
try to
goodness.
tell ourselves, we're
Definitely,
going to be losing.
definitely,
We're going to be losing.
definitely. Oh my
Mhm.
goodness. I mean, how many women have so many
Hmm.
women have said that. I mean, shoot. I mean, it could be a ton of scenarios that make me say it. I mean,
Mhm.
um and then our mothers and our grandmothers give us that. And then we take that on and we put it on our children.
That's
It's
all
a
they
no
knew, though. That's all
it's
they
like a
knew.
no-brainer. I did it,
Yeah,
girl. Girl, I got on the bus. Get your butt on the bus.
that's all they knew. I'm not mean. Not me, mommy. No.
Right. And I'm like, oh my God, these kids are so spoiled.
Hmm. I catch
But
myself saying that too today to my son. I do, but
yeah, but
I'm
I
working
think
on
we
it.
just have to, I mean, it's a lot of undoing
Yes.
to plant new seeds. So can you talk about just a little bit before we
Yeah.
close out of
Mhm.
like the undoing, why it's so important for us to recognize the soil that we're in today, June 11th,
Mhm.
um and paying attention to what's in our soil, and then being able to make the decisions to shift out of that, to come out of it, right?
Yeah.
Because
Mhm.
I'm very conscious as that you cannot do it alone. Because
No.
if you could, you do something different. We
You
all be
would. Right.
we
Right.
just write it down and then just wake up and it happened. We're like, oh my God, look at that. Look what I wrote last night. It came to pass.
I mean, Chantel, like, recognizing what is in our soil and acknowledging what's in our soil, acknowledging what's in what dirt we're in, or what rut we're in, whatever that is that you're going through, is one thing. Acknowledgement is one thing, and the thing is that a lot of us don't get past the acknowledgement phase. We stay
Mm,
there and be like, I know it, I identify it, I named it, I got it. Okay, where are we doing with the action steps, the accountability part? We don't move past that because it requires action, it requires more of us, it requires energy, it requires capacity, it requires accountability, and it requires sometimes really challenging those really dark emotions that they're so familiar to us that's hard for us to get out of. Like, this is all I
mm,
know, I don't know anything else but this. Now you're moving me past something I'm not familiar with, it gets scarier. People don't know healing is also very scary, because when you
mm,
heal, then you know better, and you know not to go back into those places, and now you're held accountable, like you knew that wasn't that you knew you wasn't return back to that guy, you knew you wasn't return back to that girl, you knew that was a toxic situation, so now you know better, so now you're left with this heavy sense of accountability or discernment that you can't, like, finesse anymore. So
mm,
people don't want to playing that game anymore because it's safe and it's a normal sense of normalcy for them, even though I don't want to call it normalcy, but it's something that's normal to them. Healing can be very unfamiliar. They never saw anybody else in their family heal, so they feel like it's weird or it's like odd or they're not entitled to it. So from the soil, from acknowledging, from recognizing what dirt I'm in and what's happening, and then do moving through action steps, accountability, and more building capacity to withstand whatever comes in that journey from building and formulating a healthier soil and blooming. Mm-hmm.
That's
So
good.
yeah,
That's good.
yeah.
So, on that note, everybody needs to share this live out. Make sure you meet us on
Yes.
Saturday, June 14th for a free check in with a licensed professional.
Me.
Now, it will not be a 45-minute one on one session. Just, we want to throw that out there,
15
right?
minutes max, and then we can take it from there if you need more support.
Yes, 15 minutes max. And then there are resources to connect further because you don't stop. Don't just come on Saturday talking about, I went to therapy this week. Now, you can't say that. Technically, you can say that, but there's more. And
Right.
I know that when you check in on the Curbside Compassion Van this Saturday,
Thank you.
something is going to happen. A transformation is going to happen. A seed is going to be planted. Something you're going to be able to identify in your soil. Something about you, some truth about you. Or you're going to feel leaving better than when you first stepped on. That is for sure. One of those things, if not all, are going to happen for you. And then you get to connect with the Yo Soy Ella team, licensed professionals, getting connected to therapy, getting connected, signing up, whatever that pathway is. But one thing that we do know is that your heart can't take another heartbreak because you are at your wits end. You are like that Tyler Perry movie that just came out. You last straw, last straw. I don't know about you, but I cried the whole time.
Oh,
But I felt like it was so many women's stories, and it was relatable, and it was that emotional pull. I never have to see it again, um, because of the emotional uh um well, I don't even know what to call it. I don't even know what happened to us. Some
the
people, some people have lots of opinions
emotional
online, but
identities. There was a lot of emotional identities going on. A lot of
oh
people.
my goodness, there was
Mhm.
so many, and it was so relatable. And then I also saw people who who wanted to deny like that they were experiencing what we all experience, and they wanted to stay in that space. And so what I post to every woman in 2025 is to take a look at the woman in your mirror and identify what she needs, right? And come and meet us on Saturday, June 14th for a free 15-minute check-in. Get on the Curbside Compassion van and
Yeah.
check in. Check in. Girl, if you've been crying all night and you still
Check
woke up and you
in.
still crying, check in. Check in.
Yeah.
It's okay to check in with in a safe space. So you're literally going to step onto the van. Are you sitting on the van? You sitting on the
I mean,
van?
I'm here. I'm in it.
Yeah. So you're literally going to step
Mhm.
into the van with a licensed professional. Sarah and her team, you get to step in there with them, and they get to help you stop,
Navigate. Yeah.
like navigate, and then like stop the all that activity that's
Intrusive
happening in your
thoughts.
brain. Yep.
Yeah.
And then guess what? Your heart rate is going to lower, right?
Yes.
And because you've been hyped, and your brain is on high alert. And what we want to do is to help you get connected to a source so that we can um lower your heart
Stressors.
rate, lower
Yeah.
your stressors, so that the toxins that you've been holding in your body can be
Mm.
released. And that could be another conversation. Maybe we can invite her back in this fall
Yeah.
and talk about SAD
I love
season,
to.
the seasonal, is it
Affective
season?
depression disorder. Yes.
Yes, because it's so true.
Hmm.
I think that that'll be a great time to make maybe have you come back live and help us navigate that before the season hits us. Like, this is what to look for to see if you are actually experiencing this, right? But I want us to just do that check-in. Come on out. It's free, 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 free,
It is
free,
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 right?
free.
Good.
Um, but today in 2025, there's no excuse why you can't get what you need. There's no reason that you can't get plugged into the source and get rejuvenated, get restored, get healed, and to let go of what you've been holding. You got that tension in your neck, in your
Yeah.
shoulders, and you've been holding it and
The
holding it.
jaw.
Your bra strap hurt, your jaw tight. It's tension
Yeah.
everywhere. Migraines, right? All of those are due to stressors, right?
Yeah.
So come and check in so that you can get what you need. Sarah, I want to thank you so much. Thank you for your time.
Thank
I know we went over
you.
time, but
It's
I just
fun.
know that this is such a valuable conversation. You gave us so many tips,
Mhm.
but it was necessary. And we
Yes.
want to embrace calm. We want to embrace peace, and we want to make ourselves a priority.
That's it. Embrace calm. I like that. Oh, thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you,
You
Chantel.
are welcome. You are
Mhm.
welcome. So happy Wednesday, hump day, everybody. We have just a couple more days until the Westside Community Q. And I want to see you out there. Come get connected. Come get some free food. Bring the kid. Listen, bring your kid.
Bring the kids.
They're gonna play at the youth center, the
Mm-hmm.
youth tent. They're gonna be over there doing games and activities and having fun. And then guess what you get to do? Go to therapy. See, everything you need is right. You hungry? We got it. You need an
Right.
icy cup? We got you hot? We got an icy
You
cup,
need a
right?
moment? We got it.
That's right. And your kid getting on your nerve, go and send them over to the kids center. Because
Right.
we got teachers, we got wonderful people, volunteers that love
Mhm.
children that are going to be playing the games with them. And while they're getting their guess what they're doing? They're getting their toxins out of their bodies,
Right.
their stressors out because they're jumping, they're laughing, they're playing games, they're doing all the things that we used to do, but life has started, well, it didn't start, it is weighing us down and wearing us out. And then go get on the curbside compassion van for free and get some free therapy. You can't beat that. You can't beat free food, free daycare, and therapy. Come on now. You can't beat that.
Come
Come on
on.
out. June 14th. Share this with a woman, a man, an
Mm-hmm.
individual that just needs to to check in. That's it. All we
Mhm.
doing
To
is
check
checking
in.
in. Check
Check
in.
in.
Check
It
in.
starts there. Check in.
Check in. So thank you, Sarah. Thank
Thank
you
you.
to all the team members of Yo Soy Ella. And we are so excited. We will see you on Saturday. And I hope everybody has a good night and be ready to check in. It's gonna be scary, but that's okay. It's gonna be
Mhm.
safe.
It's okay.
It's okay. Because sometimes we have to know it's gonna be fearful, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
Right.
I'm gonna
That's it.
do it anyway.
That's it.
So, yes, Tamika, we have a flyer. I can definitely share it with you. And we're gonna see you there, right, Tamika? Okay. Okay, so happy I always want to say happy Saturday. Happy Wednesday
Wednesday. Mhm.
and have a great rest of your night.
Thank you, Chantel. Until next time. See you Saturday.
See you Saturday.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye. Uh-huh.